In the lively town of Umuaka, everyone knew one rule that had been passed down for generations. When the masquerades came out, you respected them, or you stayed far away. Elders said the masquerades were not just performers but spirits wearing cloth and raffia. But in recent years, many young people had started rolling their eyes at such stories. To them, it was just old people's fear. Among the boldest of these youths was 18-year-old Chuka, a sharp-tongued boy who believed nothing he couldn't post online. And on the day the annual festival was announced, he was already planning content that would make him go viral. Chuka was popular in school, tall, slim, always dressed in the latest streetwear and fresh white sneakers that never seemed to touch dust. His low-fade haircut was always sharp, and his phone was practically glued to his hand. While others respected tradition, Chuka chased views and likes. When his friend Sadiq warned him, "Guy, these masquerades no be play," Chuka only laughed loudly. To him, fear was outdated, and the festival was the perfect opportunity to prove it. The day of the festival arrived with drums echoing across Umuaka. The air smelled of roasted corn, fried akara, and excitement. Colorful canopies lined the village square, and elders sat in dignified rows. Then the masquerades emerged, tall, layered in flowing raffia, their carved masks both beautiful and unsettling. The crowd instantly shifted backward in respect. Mothers pulled their children close. But Chuka. He stepped forward instead, already recording. Among the dancers was one masquerade that moved differently. Taller. Slower. Its raffia was darker, almost swallowing the light around it. People whispered its name nervously, Oziumodo. They said it never chased anyone. It never spoke. It simply danced and watched. When it turned its mask slightly toward the crowd, even the drummers missed a beat. Everyone lowered their eyes. Everyone except Chuka. With a grin, Chuka zoomed his camera. "See this one way them they fear," he mocked under his breath. Before anyone could stop him, he stepped closer, far closer than tradition allowed. A sharp murmur rippled through the crowd. One elder even stood halfway from his seat. But the masquerade did nothing. It simply kept dancing. That silence made the air feel strangely heavy. Feeling bored, Chuka laughed loudly and did something that made several women gasp. He mimicked the masquerade's dance. His friends behind him shouted nervously for him to stop. The drumming faltered again. Slowly, very slowly, Oziumodo stopped dancing. For the first time, the mask turned fully toward Chuka. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. For 3 long seconds, nothing moved. Chuka forced a smirk for his camera, but deep inside, something cold brushed the back of his neck. The masquerade tilted its head slightly, almost like it was memorizing his face. Then, without warning, it turned away and continued dancing. The crowd exhaled in shaky relief. Chuka scoffed loudly. "Nothing did happen," he bragged. But one old woman nearby was still staring at him with pity. As the crowd began to relax, Pa Okeke, one of the oldest men in Umuaka, called Chuka aside. His voice was low but firm. "Young man, some dances are invitations." Chuka rolled his eyes. "Papa, I beg. No festival we dey." Pa Okeke sighed deeply, the kind of sigh that carried history. "When it dances behind you," the old man murmured, "it does not turn back." That evening, Chuka returned home feeling proud. His video was already blowing up, comments pouring in, laughing emojis everywhere. His mother complained about his late return, but he barely listened. As he lay on his bed scrolling through reactions, the excitement buzzed in his chest. Outside, the night in Umuaka grew unusually quiet. As Chuka stepped back from the window, something made him freeze. His shadow on the wall moved half a second late. His smile faded. Slowly, he raised his hand. The shadow followed, but not perfectly. A thin line of unease slid down his spine for the first time that day. Trying to shake off the feeling, Chuka grabbed his phone to rewatch his viral video. But when the clip played, his confident grin slowly disappeared. Because at the edge of the frame, barely visible, the masquerade was no longer dancing in the opposite direction. It was facing the camera. Facing him. A sudden cold breeze brushed the back of his neck. Chuka spun around quickly. His room was empty. Door closed. Window locked. But the faint smell of dry raffia filled the air. His heartbeat began to climb faster than he wanted to admit. The next morning, his mother paused mid-sentence while serving breakfast. Chuka, why your eyes look like you no sleep? He forced a laugh and blamed editing all night. But even as he spoke, he felt strangely tired, like he had been awake doing something he couldn't remember. At school, Chuka tried to act normal. But twice, he heard soft dragging footsteps behind him in the corridor. Each time he turned, nothing. His friends joked that fame was already chasing him. He laughed with them. But the back of his neck refused to stop prickling. That evening, just as the sun dipped orange behind the rooftops, the distant drums returned again. Slow. Patient. Waiting. Chuka stood very still in his room, listening. The sound was no longer far away. It was on his street. Heart pounding, Chuka peeked through the curtain toward the compound gate. And his blood turned to ice. Outside the gate, under the dim street light, something tall wrapped in dark raffia was standing perfectly still. Not dancing. Not moving. Just waiting. The masquerade had followed him home.